November 24th, 1971. A man boards a plane in Portland, Oregon. His destination? Seattle, Washington. But little did anyone know this routine flight would become one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in FBI history. A case that has captivated investigators, journalists, and conspiracy theorists for decades. This is the story of D.B. Cooper. Thanksgiving Eve, 1971. A man in his mid-40s dressed in a business suit, white shirt, and black tie purchases a one-way ticket under the name Dan Cooper. He boards Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, bound for Seattle with 36 passengers on board. Little did anyone know Cooper had a plan that would shock the world. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper quietly hands a note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. Initially, she assumes it's just another businessman trying to flirt. But then Cooper whispers, "Miss, you better look at that note. I have a bomb." The note demands $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. If his demands aren't met, Cooper threatens to detonate the bomb in his briefcase. Airline executives and the FBI agree to his demands. In a matter of hours, they arrange the ransom and prepare to refuel the plane in Seattle. Upon landing in Seattle, the passengers are released unharmed. Cooper gets his ransom, $200,000 in $20 bills and the 4 parachutes. With only the crew left on board, Cooper orders the pilots to take off again, this time heading south toward Mexico City. But Cooper had no intention of reaching Mexico. At 10,000 feet, flying over the rugged terrain of Washington state, something remarkable happens. Cooper instructs the flight crew to stay in the cockpit while he lowers the plane's rear stairway. At some point between Seattle and Reno, Nevada, Cooper jumps into the night, disappearing without a trace, leaving behind only questions. Did he survive the jump? Where did he land? And who exactly was D.B. Cooper? For nearly 5 decades, the FBI and independent investigators have tried to solve this mystery. The hunt for D.B. Cooper became one of the most extensive investigations in U.S. history. Law enforcement scoured the wilderness where he was believed to have jumped, but no body, no parachute, and none of the money was ever found, at least not immediately. The manhunt included everything from analyzing the ransom bills to searching remote forest areas, but every clue led to more dead ends. The FBI interviewed hundreds of suspects, but no one definitively matched Cooper's profile. Then in 1980, a break in the case. A young boy digging on the banks of the Columbia River finds a decaying bundle of $20 bills, totaling $5,800. The serial numbers match the ransom money. But even this discovery raised more questions than answers. How did the money end up there? Was it intentionally buried or washed downriver by chance? And still, no trace of Cooper himself. Over the years, dozens of suspects have been considered, from experienced parachutists to ordinary citizens. Some believe Cooper didn't survive the jump at all, that he perished in the unforgiving wilderness. But others argue that he survived the jump and lived out his days under a new identity. One of the most compelling suspects was a man named Richard Floyd McCoy, a Vietnam veteran and experienced skydiver who committed a similar hijacking just months later. However, McCoy was ruled out due to differences in physical appearance. Other suspects included Dwayne Weber, a man who allegedly confessed to his wife on his deathbed that he was D.B. Cooper, and Kenneth Christensen, a former Northwest Airlines employee whose behavior and background matched elements of the case. Yet despite all the suspects, the FBI officially closed the case in 2016, citing insufficient evidence. But for many, the legend of D.B. Cooper lives on. Today, the D.B. Cooper case is the only unsolved hijacking in U.S. aviation history. It has inspired books, documentaries, and even movies. Cooper's bold escape, with no one hurt and no clear answers, turned him into a folk hero for some. But beneath the legend lies an enduring mystery. Who was D.B. Cooper? Was he a criminal mastermind who vanished without a trace, or simply a man who took a gamble that ended in tragedy? The FBI may have closed the case, but the hunt for the truth continues as amateur sleuths and conspiracy theorists search for answers. In the end, the story of D.B. Cooper reminds us that sometimes the most compelling mysteries are the ones that leave us wondering. This was the story of D.B. Cooper, America's greatest unsolved hijacking. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what you think happened to D.B. Cooper in the comments below.